Hello, dear ones. Thank you for coming again and spending some time with me. So, I'm here on my mat this morning doing my morning meditation practice, sadhana, and this new teaching came forth. Well, it's not very new. It's been said in many ways. In fact, through many teachers, and perhaps even many of you have heard it. However, I am being guided to speak about it today with you. So, today I want to talk a little bit about feelings and how they are carried and how they are formed and stored in our bodies and in our fields. So, most of these teachings will be, pretty manageable, especially because I know that most people do have very busy days, and I'm being guided to offer teachings that are something that you can kind of take with you and watch it rather quickly and then kind of move on with your day and hold them with you for the rest of the day. So at least that's what's happening right now. So we'll see how this goes. As I told you in my previous video, this is very new to me. So feelings are these sensations that we have in our bodies. Sometimes they're triggered by experiences that we have, and sometimes they seem to come out of nowhere, as if they were just manifested from thin air. Many times people have names for these feelings: anger, fear, happiness, sadness. And other times, it's almost as if you don't know what to call it. It's there. It's just in your body. Some of us have had experience with stopping, centering, and feeling where these sensations are in our body, because what many people actually don't know is that feelings are actually our body's way of telling us that something is going on. And so there is a physical element to feelings. It's not just emotional. It's not just mental. There is a physical component to it that physiologically is involved with feelings. And so the first part of feelings is really to kind of know that the sensation is somewhere in the body. So you may have a feeling and you may stop and you may breathe, and you may find that this feeling, we'll say it's located in the heart. And so some days we may have the opportunity to stop, feel the sensation, and breathe with the feeling, giving it space, allowing it to be what it is, allowing it to expand. My daughter just woke up and she sounds happy, so we'll let her enjoy. Hopefully this video won't get interrupted too much. She sounds happy now. So, back to what I was saying. We may have the moment, have that time to experience the feeling and really allow it to be there, really allow it to grow and feel it and give it the attention that it needs. Because really, these feelings that we have, they really need to be experienced. They need to be felt. like a child, they need to be acknowledged. They need to be loved. They need attention. And so sometimes we may have that opportunity. We may have the awareness and the presence to stop and do that. Other times, we may not. Oftentimes, we may not. Especially when we are triggered. Maybe it's by our child, maybe it's by another person, a stranger, a family member, our partner. It could be anyone, really. Whoever is really in the line of fire or perhaps going through their own things. And so in those situations when we're maybe rushed or tired or going through something physically, mentally, whatever it may be, perhaps the planets are in a certain alignment that is bringing certain energy into our lives, and there's some things that need to be cleared. Whatever the reason is, there are many times in our lives where we actually don't have the presence to sit, feel the feeling, give it the presence it deserves and needs, and allow it to transform. What happens in those moments when we aren't allowed, or we don't allow ourselves, or we aren't afforded the time to take with these feelings? They don't just go away. Okay, they are stored in our connective tissue, in our bodies. Being that these feelings are a way of our bodies telling us what's going on, they still remain. The limbic system, is part of our physiological makeup, and these feelings, these sensations, run through them, and therefore they can get stored in the connective tissue. It's not just a woo thing that we're talking about here. This is real. So, what can we do about that? What can we do when we are not allowed the time that we need to feel these feelings? There are many things that we can do, including yoga, body work, marma, which are acupressure points. Really any somatic experience that we can have where we're able to come back into the body and visit these things at a later date. We can also, even if we have the awareness, maybe tell that part of ourselves, I hear you, I know you're there, I don't have the time right now, I'm going to come back to you. So that's kind of like, this in the moment kind of thing that we can do. However, what do we do with trauma? What do we do with the past emotions, experiences that we literally just did not even have the awareness at all that this was even something that we needed to deal with? We've run away from it for so long. When you're a child, you don't even have names for your emotions. You don't know what they're called. You don't know what they are. And so, many of us have had trauma in our early childhood and throughout our lives, and we didn't have names for it. We didn't know what to call it, and so therefore, we pushed it away. We ran away. We stuffed it down, put it in our emotional backpacks, as Dr. Laura Markham likes to call it. A wonderful author for all you parents out there. Peaceful Parent, Happy Kids. Good book. Anyway. So now we're carrying these emotional backpacks around, and we're kind of like, what do I do with this? I really don't know. It's manifesting, whether it's emotionally, mentally, physically. I don't even know how to navigate through this. the best advice that's coming through right now that I can give to you, other than those other modalities, because, we can spend time on our yoga mat, we can spend time getting body work and working through these things in those ways, and that is beautiful and that is effective. And even psychotherapy, there are many modalities that we can use to integrate these feelings, these parts of ourselves that are, separated from ourselves, that are fractionated and within the body, all different places, these things, like, they're there. Which you may have experienced in something like yoga, where all of a sudden you're crying, or all of a sudden you want to just lash out and yell at someone, or during body work you may experience some really cathartic emotions. Many of us have experienced that. That's what that is. Those are those stored emotions that are coming out. But what can we do on a daily basis, or even when we have the awareness to do it? What can we do on our own that doesn't require us to go, and maybe we don't have the money to pay for these things? How can we do these things on our own? Sit. Even if it's only for 5 minutes a day. Just come to your center. Breathe from the belly, breathing deeply into the belly. Just nice, long belly breaths. Engaging the parasympathetic. Now I'm having a mind blank, so if that's wrong, please forgive me. But we're engaging the rest and digest system of the body. And we're coming to center. And we're just gently asking our body, is there some place that needs my attention today? Is there some place here within me that requires my love, that needs attention, prana, life force energy? And then all of a sudden, there's a little space inside that'll just be like, me, I need you. And then we just bring our awareness to that space, and we breathe, and we feel, and we allow, and we create space for that piece, that part. And we just send it love. We just send it pure love, allowing it to be what it is. Not trying to change it, not trying to control it, not running away from it. Just being with it, experiencing it, holding space for it, and watching it, and loving it. This can take 5 minutes, this can take 10 minutes. It can take as long as you want, as long as you have, really. I mean, the longer, it's obviously best if we can really stay with the feeling as long as it needs, and you'll notice that shift. There will be a shift where it sort of just is illuminated, almost just transformed into light. And you will feel that shift very, very viscerally, in your body. It will be noticeable. So of course it is always best if we can spend the full amount of time with it. However, sometimes we may not have a chance. Sometimes we only have a little bit of time in the morning for our practice, and we're very busy and we don't have a moment to really spend this time. And so in those moments, we may have to say to that part of ourselves, I love you so much. Thank you so much for showing me what you need. Thank you for coming to me and bringing this to my awareness. Thank you for allowing me to hold space for you. I promise I'm going to come back and spend more time with you. I do need to do some other things today, but I promise you that I am here for you and that I will give you anything that you need. please just let me know. Kind of like a child, like we would with a child. If we're out and about and they're having a problem, we obviously want to give them this attention, but maybe we're in the grocery line and we may say to them, oh my gosh, you know what, I love you so much, I really want to help you with this. Mama promises that when we get outside, when we get to the car, we're going to come back to this, okay? Let's just get through this together now. We do that with ourselves as well. We do that with our little, some people call it inner child, and I do believe that most of the time it is, like these little children that are like, I need you. So if we can't spend the entire time that we need to, that's what we can do. We can lovingly ask for a rain check, I guess, in some ways. And then, of course, just thanking your body, thanking your guides, thanking your higher self for assisting in these healings is always a beautiful practice at the end, to just give thanks to the universe, to God, to Source, whatever you'd like to call it, for assisting in these transformations that we're going through. These are very important practices. It is very simple, really, but it's very important. And it's very important for us to honor the feelings that come up for us. What's coming through right now is, specifically for me as a mother right now, I am really trying to be a conscious parent, and bringing forth, holding the space for my daughter the way that I would hold space for these parts of myself. When she's experiencing emotions, when she's having issues, when she's going through something, I really do. I try to create this space so that she can experience these emotions. I help her name them. I help her kind of figure it out. She's 3 years old, so she doesn't really know how to do that yet. I mean, I'm just learning how to do that, right? Aren't we all? I mean, really, we never were taught these things. It just wasn't circulating through consciousness very much, during our childhood. And for most of us, at least, some of us have very awake parents, maybe, and or communities, or we're blessed to have these things gifted to us at a younger age. However, not most of us weren't. My parents and like their parents, and it's just this whole like beautiful just kind of generation ancestral kind of things that we're dealing with. So this is new. This is a new thing that we're doing. And so as a mother, there's a mosquito. We'll see what that means. There's got to be some medicine that's coming through. I don't know what it is offhand. So holding space for my daughter, I've come to realize that, I've gotten pretty good, or, pretty good, I think we'll say that, at doing that most of the time, unless I'm triggered or like, having my own problems or something. Sometimes it's harder than others, right? I mean, we have to also be gentle with ourselves, because, again, those little parts of us are triggered and they're like, I need help. Help me, don't worry about this. And so it's like the kind of thing. So that being said, when those parts come up, that's kind of what I've been navigating through. What do we do when we're holding space for our child or our partner or someone? It doesn't have to be a child, it could be anyone, and we're triggered. Because for a while during this process that I've been learning with my daughter, I have stuffed the feelings again. So not even realizing it, just being like, she's a child, she needs me right now, she's having a hard time, I need to hold space for her. Kind of like shushing this other part of me, like, stop it, you're not allowed to be angry, you're not allowed to be upset about this, you have to go away, let's deal with this little one needs our help. And that's true, they do, they really do. But so does this part, okay? So does this part. It really needs our love and attention. So again, it's kind of like, okay, stop. Another little Dr. Markham technique, stop, drop, and breathe. stop and breathe. Okay, so I'm holding space for Kylie, my daughter, and I'm also holding space for Kaylin. And I'm feeling that feeling, and I'm allowing it to be there. And I'm saying, I see you. I see you. I see how angry you are right now. I know this is hard. I know this is just really difficult. We can get through this together. And so I'm kind of trying to hold space for both aspects at the same time. And Kylie actually at this point she knows. And she'll say, Mama, do you need some space for a moment? And it's pretty sweet. It's pretty cute. And these are, obviously my best moments, of course, when I could do that. And we may not be able to really hold space completely for both parts. But then, again, we say, please, to this part of ourselves. Because, we are the adults, so we do need to be here for our children. And, when it's another adult, then, we might want to spend a little more time with ourselves and, depending on who it is rather than them. But, it just depends on the situation. And I trust that you can navigate through those decisions for yourself and what makes sense for you. I think the most important part of this teaching today is that don't ignore those parts of yourself. Don't push them away, because they will come out, whether it's physically or emotionally, or maybe you'll just get so triggered that you maybe yell and you don't want to. These things will come out eventually. They don't just go away. And so for the well-being of yourself and your family and your friends and the world, really, because we're a microcosm, right, of the macro. So for the benefit of all, let's pay attention to these feelings. Let's allow them space. Let's love them. Let's give them permission to be, so that they may transform into pure light. As always, thank you so much for coming and being with me today. Please feel free to send me any questions you have. You can visit my website. I'll have it in the comments. Or my Facebook page. And I'm here for you if you need anything, always. Thank you, dear ones. Namaste.